I don't remember the last time we spoke. That's the part that bothers me the most. Not that we stopped talking, but that neither of us noticed when it happened. I don't remember the last time we spoke. That's the part that bothers me the most. If there had been an argument, a harsh word, a door closed too hard, I might remember the moment clearly. But there wasn't. Just a quiet space where a voice used to be. We were friends for most of my life. Long enough that I stopped counting the years. Long enough that the friendship felt less like something we did and more like something that simply existed. Like gravity. Reliable. Unquestioned. We met when life was louder. When days felt longer and plans were made without calendars. Back then, we didn't need reasons to call. We called because something small happened. Or nothing happened at all. There was a time when I knew his routine as well as my own. When I could tell what kind of mood he was in by the way he said hello. When silence between us never felt awkward, it felt earned. As we grew older, life began to stretch us in different directions. Not sharply. Gently. Like fabric that's been pulled too many times. Families, responsibilities, tired evenings that arrived earlier than they used to. Still, we stayed in touch. Or at least, that's what I told myself. The calls became shorter. Then less frequent. We started saying, we should do this again soon, and meaning it in a vague, hopeful way that didn't require action. I remember the first time a call went unanswered. I didn't think much of it. People get busy. I left a message. Light. Casual. The kind that doesn't ask for anything. He called back a few days later, apologetic. We laughed. Promised to catch up properly next time. Next time became later. Later became someday. And someday became never, without either of us agreeing to it. I still remember small things vividly. The way we walked the same route for years, talking about everything and nothing. The coffee shop where we always sat too long. The shared jokes that would make no sense to anyone else. Those memories don't hurt. Not exactly. They feel warm. But they carry a weight now, because they belong to a version of life that no longer checks in on me. I kept dialing his number for a while. Each time, I hesitated longer before pressing call. I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to interrupt a life that might no longer have room for me. When the calls stopped being returned altogether, I told myself there must be a reason. Illness. Stress. Forgetfulness. I offered him grace, because that's what years of friendship teach you. What I didn't offer myself was the same kindness. I wondered if I had said something wrong. If I'd become boring. Slower. Less relevant. These thoughts arrive quietly when you're older. They don't announce themselves. They sit beside you and wait. One day, I realized weeks had passed without me thinking to call him at all. That realization startled me more than the silence ever had. Distance doesn't always arrive dramatically. Sometimes it settles in slowly, like dust. You don't notice it day to day. Only when you finally wipe a surface clean do you see how much has accumulated. I saw his name once, mentioned by someone else. Casual. Offhand. It felt strange to hear him exist so easily in a world that no longer included me. There was no anger. No resentment. Just a soft sadness that surprised me with its patience. We don't talk about this kind of loss very often. Not the loss of death or betrayal, but the loss of presence. The kind where everyone is still alive, still breathing, still moving forward, just no longer together. I sometimes imagine running into him by chance. What we would say. How we'd smile politely at first, then warmly. How we'd promise, again, to catch up soon. I wonder if we'd both know, deep down, that it wouldn't happen. Friendships, I've learned, don't always end. Some of them simply loosen their grip until one day you're no longer holding on. And maybe that's no one's fault. Still, there are mornings when I reach for the phone out of habit. When something reminds me of him and I almost share it. Almost. Those almosts add up. I don't know when our last conversation was. I don't know who spoke last, or what about. And that's what stays with me. Not the silence itself. But how quietly it replaced something I once thought was permanent. Now, when I think of him, I don't feel bitterness. I feel gratitude. And a gentle ache. The kind that comes from knowing that some people shape your life deeply, even if they don't stay for all of it. I suppose many of us, if we're honest, are carrying someone like that. A name we don't dial anymore. A voice we could still recognize instantly. If nothing else, this has taught me how fragile closeness can be. And how easily it slips away when no one is watching. I don't remember the last time we spoke. But I remember what it felt like when we did. And some days, that's enough to keep him with me, quietly.